Yeah, let's talk some football.
Always felt like my vision being bigger than a bigger picture.
So the biggest takeaways after this past Sunday's NFL games. Number one, Dak Prescott is not only a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, he might be number one. He might be number one. Dak Prescott is playing at an all-time level. He should be number one in the MVP race. The only reason why he's not is because of our record. We're currently 3-3-1. A lot of people is on the Baker Mayfield train, which rightfully so, he's balling out himself. And the Buccaneers have a way better record than the Cowboys thus far. But when it comes to the position of quarterback, leading his team, leading the offense, using the proper checkdowns, the proper audibles to get your offense into the right play, Dak Prescott is second to none. Of course, it helps having 2 legit wide receiver ones on your team. Probably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, and George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb came back this past weekend, had over 100 yards, total receiving, and a 70-plus yarder touchdown. Dak Prescott is playing out of control. And like I said, you heard it here first, he's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL this season. That's including Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, even though he's hurt, Jalen Hurts, I don't care. You name it, I'm taking Dak Prescott over that quarterback thus far in the NFL. He's number 1 quarterback. The next biggest takeaway after this week's NFL games, the Dallas Cowboys has the number 1 offense in the NFL. Listen, I already talked about it. Dak Prescott, quarterback 1. Easily the best quarterback playing right now. Wide receiver duo. George Pickens was holding it down for the Dallas Cowboys. Now we got CeeDee Lamb back. CeeDee Lamb is a top 3 NFL wide receiver when healthy, right? It's tough to put CeeDee over Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson but CeeDee Lamb is right there with those guys. But then when you talk about your wide receiver 2, I'm taking George Pickens over Jordan Addison, over Devontae Smith, over T. Higgins. There's not many wide receiver 2, if there's any at all, I'm taking over George Pickens. And that's because George Pickens is actually a wide receiver 1. The Dallas Cowboys got super lucky with getting George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers, because now we have 2 legit wide receiver 1s. Thus is the reason why Dak Prescott is playing the way he is. He has 2 legit options. In the past, teams, all they had to do was double 88, dare anybody else to make a play and load the box. You got 2 people on your only threat in the wide receiver room, load the box so you can't run, force people like Tolbert to make a play, Kevontae Turpin to make a play, and they couldn't. Now that you have George Pickens, it's on. Therefore, in my honest opinion, I think the Dallas Cowboys have not only the best quarterback in the NFL, the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, and the best offense. But when there's good, there's bad. The defense is still not good. Yes, they played wonderful yesterday, but you have to think the Washington Commanders came in without their wide receiver 1, 2, and 3, I'm pretty sure. They had picked up guys who haven't played football in months, guys off the practice squad, or guys who are special team players. So we were supposed to dominate that game of football yesterday on defense, which we did. Deron Bland had a pick 6. For the most part, we shut down Washington's offense. Our defense is still not it. In order for us to be taken serious, we need at least an average defense. Because right now, everybody's thinking, can Dallas offense lead them into the playoffs? Because we all know the defense is the weakness. If we can get a real legit piece, whether it's an edge rusher, a linebacker, a defensive back, things can be taken very serious in Dallas when it comes to the state of football. Other big takeaways from this week's NFL games. Number 1, the Packers aren't as strong as I thought. Yes, they have a decent record. Yes, Micah Parsons had a career game yesterday with 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. But they barely beat a Cardinals team without their starting quarterback in Kyler Murray, right? They had to get a 4th down stop. They scored 14 points in the 4th quarter. And they squeezed by a Cardinals team that we all know just isn't that good. So the Packers aren't as dangerous as most have thought, especially how they started off the season. That doesn't say that they won't be in the playoffs. That's not saying that they won't be a threat to the Dallas Cowboys, because they always are, right? But they're just not as scary as most have thought. Number 2, the top dogs in the NFC are the Eagles. The Eagles, they're a tough squad, man. Jalen Hurts A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith balled out yesterday. They balled out against the #1 defense in the NFL in the Minnesota Vikings. The Rams are playing without Puka Nacua, and they're still holding things now. Devontae Adams has shown that, hey, he's still a baller, right? So the Rams and their defense is pretty good as well. So the Eagles, the Rams, and the Cowboys, in my opinion, are the top dogs, along with the Buccaneers. I got to show love to the Baker Mayfield. Mike Evans is back. You know, the Buccaneers are good as well. Those are the top 4 teams in the NFC, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the AFC, there's only one team. It's 2 teams. The Chiefs for sure. Letting Patrick Mahomes get 3 speedsters and Thornton, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. Now you got your wide receiver 1 back and Rashee Rice. The Chiefs, they very well might make it back to the Super Bowl. At the very least, they're going to make it to the conference championship, because we all know as long as Patrick Mahomes is the starting quarterback of the Chiefs, the very minimum stage is the conference championship. But other than the Chiefs, you got the Bills, Josh Allen. But those are the only 2 teams that I feel like are real threats coming out the AFC. And those are my biggest takeaways. Comment below your thoughts.